Hey guys, Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and this video is designed to give you the most overpowered classes in Black Ops 2. A quick note before we get into them too much. Some of you are going to say, oh my gosh, Woody, you suck, I hate you, now that you've done this, everyone I play against has these really strong classes, they make it hard for me to do well. Keep complaining, baby. Keep saying it loud and proud. Let all your friends know how much I suck because you can no longer do well in Call of Duty because I taught them to do better. Let me hear it. Say it. Tweet about it. Do your thing. Put it on Facebook. Say, WoodysGamertag made my competitors better, and now I can't do well. Yes, I don't know how I'm going to sleep at night, but please, yeah, keep complaining. Let's talk about the classes. A lot of these are pretty similar. The way that I play the game, I mostly play objective-based games, and I mostly sprint and take map control and get bomb plants and flag caps and stuff like that. So a lot of my classes are designed to do just that. This is my shotgun class. One of the things that's really critical into doing well with Black Ops 2, or any Call of Duty really for that matter, is to choose a gun for the map. When I do standoff, I often break out this class. Why? Because there are all these routes where I can run around standoff and keep the engagements right up close and on top of me. There are some other maps where it's kind of in between, like Slums. Slums is the one with that big statue in the middle next to B Domination. If I'm in that, then sometimes they're at medium distance, sometimes they're right up close. I like to run an SMG. On the other hand, if I'm on Meltdown or Aftermath, Meltdown, you know the maps, then a lot of times I find myself in these longer engagements, and it's nice to use an assault rifle on those. So, break out a class that's appropriate for the map that you're on, and you'll do a whole lot better. Sometimes I think to myself, man, I really want to get a Vector gameplay. Sometimes people fuss when I use the same gun too often, and I break out something like a Vector or a shotgun on Aftermath, and, it's possible, you can do it well, but, you're better off if you grab a gun that fits the map. And this shotgun only fits a couple of maps. I can do okay in Raid, I can do okay in Standoff, but other times I just find myself kind of unarmed because it's hard to get from one place to the other. In this shotgun class, every one of my classes runs Ghost. I don't think you're going to find a class. You might, but I don't think you'll find a class where I'm not running Ghost on it. You probably hate playing against people who run Ghost. I know. That's why I run it. You should hate playing against me. That's how I play. And all my objective classes have Flak Jacket. I'm huge on planting bombs and taking flags, and that is just an exercise in frustration if you're not running Flak Jacket. It's one of the things that I've spent my prestige tokens on, Flak Jacket. It was one of the first things I spent it on because to me it's essential. Without it, I get really frustrated. I normally run Toughness on my classes. I find that without Toughness, somebody shoots me, all of a sudden I'm off target and my guns don't work like they're supposed to. But with a pump action shotgun, Toughness is wasted. So I threw Cold Blooded on there, and then Tac Mask. I run a lot of Tac Mask because I don't know, it just seems like in Black Ops 2, the power of stuns and shocks and flashes is way more than it ever has been before. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm on target. But when I get stunned, it feels like a death sentence to wait, is it 10 seconds before I can start moving again properly? So I run Tac Mask a lot. If this were a TDM class, I'd probably swap out Cold Blooded, maybe the Semtex 2, and drop on Dexterity, because Dexterity is really handy with a shotgun. New to Black Ops 2, you guys probably know this by now, is if you aim down sights, the shotguns are actually more effective, whereas that wasn't the case in all the previous CODs. And Dexterity helps you aim down sight a little faster, so I like that. Anyway, Tac Insert 2. I have to talk about this. A lot of my classes are pretty similar. Like if you look at these two, they're exactly the same except for the gun. It looks like the perks are changing, but they're not. They're just swapping places. Toughness, like I said, Tac Insert. Tac Inserts are incredibly overpowered in objective game modes. They're huge. The whole point of an objective game mode, if you haven't figured it out yet, you probably have. People are good at COD now. But the point of an objective game is usually not like the plant or the kills. It's about map control. Everything else is secondary to map control. Domination, if you own 2/3 of the map, you own 2 flags and you're set. A demolition, if you can get those guys, if you can push their spawn sort of away from that bomb, then you're going to win. Now, that's how sabotage work too, although that's not in Black Ops. All these objective-based game modes are really about owning the map. And then things like getting the bombs, getting the flags, etc. They come secondary. Cap the flag is a little bit different, but mostly if you can start where you want to start, and that's what Tac Insert brings you, that's what gets you the win. So these are the same thing. This used to be an MSMC, but there was just a nerf. A nerf is to make the gun less powerful. It's the opposite of a buff, which is to make a gun more powerful. There was a nerf on the MSMC, so I swapped it out with an MP7. To me, those guns are pretty much equivalent now. The MSMC used to be better. Now I'm playing with the MP7. I like it a lot. More time in game will let me know if the nerf made it worse, but the PDW was nerfed, and I'm still finding that its 50 bullet clip is really helpful. So I still run it. This is a team deathmatch or search class. There are some differences, in what I do in a TDM or search. For starters, flak jacket's gone. Right, I find that I'm not getting naded as much when I'm playing TDM because you don't have some announcer saying Woody's capturing B right now. Be sure to throw a nade on his butt over the wall. Because in TDM, that doesn't exist. I find that flak jacket is less useful. Yeah, you can still get naded, but it's not like trying to cap a flag or plant a bomb where everybody knows where you are and throws their nades like that. So I swap it out with hardline. I find that to be pretty useful. Another option would be to run perk 3 greed and put dexterity on there because I find that to be pretty helpful too. The Peacekeeper is a nice gun for small and medium-sized maps, even big ones, like the Aftermath. And it's not necessarily the map size as much as it is the lines of sight, just how big the darn lines of sight are. And to me, the Peacekeeper is almost an assault rifle. That's how they build it, actually. It's a little bit like is it the M28? I forget. But, it's like a medium-powered assault rifle where you can move kind of quickly. I've uploaded a game recently. If you haven't seen it, it's actually really good. Where the first time we only use riot shields, and then the second half of the Dom game, I break out guns and I pull out my Tryhard class, which is coming. It's another Peacekeeper class, and someone was like, "Really, just Tryhard on a Peacekeeper?" Yeah, I do on that map especially. Is it Villa? I forget. It's the one where B Dom is next to that bridge. Anyway, on that map, where I often get into some distant gunfights, the Peacekeeper is perfect for that. And this is what I run. You'll notice there's no tac insert on this class. I just find tac insert to be a lot less useful in TDM. And then, of course, it's perfectly useless in Search and Destroy. But yeah, spawning where I want to spawn in TDM doesn't really get me anywhere. It's not about map control to me. It's about awareness, knowing where people are, common traffic patterns, stuff like that. Here's another run and gun objective class. The Scar was good before, and it's just been buffed. It's just been made more powerful. I think the medium distance damage on it went up, and now I'm finding the Scar to be really great. When I run it, I feel like I'm stuck in molasses. I've run so many submachine guns throughout this game that running an assault rifle now makes me feel kind of slow, which is why I threw the stock on there. The stock, while you're aiming down sights, you can still strafe back and forth. One thing I've added to my game a ton in Black Ops 2 is now when I shoot, I'm almost always strafing back and forth. So I used to drop shot like 100% of the time, and now I mix it up. Sometimes I drop shot, other times I just sort of, almost like Halo, strafe back left and right while still trying to stay on target. And I find that if I have like a teammate next to me preventing me from strafing, it's almost insta-death. It really keeps me alive to strafe while I shoot. And that's what the stock or an SMG gives me. It allows me to be a much tougher target to use. On the tac insert, I know I talked about it before. These are OP classes. That's the point. They're overpowered. And you won't find the tac insert legal on any competition anywhere. This thing is banned like nobody's business because, to kill a guy, you're supposed to force him to respawn back in his spawn. If you can stay there and just apply pressure constantly by using the tac insert, they will hate you. And that's the point of these classes. This is my anti-killstreak class. It could be almost any gun, but the rest of it is kind of as you'd expect. It has blind eye, it has cold-blooded, it has a pair of EMP grenades, and it has a FHJ-18 anti-aircraft. And by the way, that thing takes out sentry guns too. That launcher. It takes 2 shots to take out a sentry gun. I'm not sure if it also takes 2 to take out a Guardian, but I'm sure it will take them out just as well. So this is what I run when my team's got overrun. My team's been overrun, and we just have too much air power raining down on us. One thing I noticed though is that when I run this, sentries are still killing me. So I'm not sure if that was a player control thing and I just whatever, or if there's no way to protect yourself from a sentry, or maybe I'm crazy. But I don't think I have to say it. I think either a player was controlling it or blind eye, which, as you can see, at the bottom, undetectable by AI controlled air support. In my head, that meant undetectable by AI control guardians and sentries too, but it didn't seem to in game. So you got to be careful about sentries and guardians when you run this because they still get you. But this is my anti-air class. Everybody should have one. You know, you can be that guy that just eliminates what the other team has going on, and then give your team another chance at success again. This is the one class I don't think is totally overpowered, but I thought I'd show it to you anyway. It's a TDM shoddy class. If I did the same thing and made it a Remington, maybe I'd throw like a laser sight on there instead of a adjustable stock. This would be my TDM shotgun class. You can see it's running Ghost. I'm running Dexterity instead of Hardline on there. Cold-blooded because I find toughness is worthless on shotguns, you know, bouncing around. This is the one where I run C4. C4s are more powerful than Semtexes, but they're not quite, you know, throw and forget like a Semtex is. So it's up to you. You can run either one. And then EMP grenade, just because I find that this thing doesn't have a silencer, and an EMP grenade will knock out people's minimap, you know, the little UAV thing going on there. So I find that to be useful. You know, the combo of no silencer and then an EMP, it confuses the enemy, and you know, when a counter UAV is up, people get stupid. You know, they become not as good at this game. That thing is so helpful. It shows where the players are. It shows where the action is. It shows what the map looks like in front of you. Yeah, when you take it away, all of a sudden it's like, oh, all those guys he played against sucks. You know, really what happened is they didn't have their mini-map, and it makes people worse. It's a huge advantage to have it when they don't. This class is much like the other run and gun objective classes that I had. It's probably my #1 go-to tryhard class. The Peacekeeper, for whatever reason, this gun is built for me, man. The way I play, which is finding people at medium distance but wanting to move quickly, wanting to strafe while I shoot, doing all that fun stuff. I love my Peacekeeper. I think it's great. The tac mask is a big part of this. I mentioned something about the non-lethals are so powerful in Black Ops 2. Flak Jacket and Ghost, they work great together, and you can sit here and, you know, I almost don't have to worry about nades as they're flying on me when I'm capping my objectives. And Toughness allows me to stay on target when I'm supposed to. Tac Insert, like I said, God, this class, everything about it is perfect to me. I could see dropping the laser sight because I find myself not hip firing with the Peacekeeper as much, but I don't know what I'd put on there. Maybe extended mags, maybe you know, fast mag or something like that. But I love this class. It's my go-to class when I'm trying to try hard or do something well. Experimental. So I mix this one up a lot, but I set it up as kind of the AN is kind of a try hard class. The AN-94 is an outstanding gun. It is probably, I was going to say it's the best assault rifle in the game. It's definitely on that short list of guns that belong in that, you know, what is the best assault rifle in Black Ops 2. And I love this guy. Yeah, even with, I find that silencers are incredibly important in Black Ops 2. I think it's the way the maps are. There always seems to be a guy flanking you. If I get a kill, then 3 more pour right on me without a silencer. And it's just tough to play well. But with this thing, I kill people at a distance. I keep them far away. It's kind of a camping jackass playstyle that I use with this, although not quite as hardcore. And it's also not a good objective class. Not if you're going to actually play the objective. If you're just going to try to be the Slayer, this class works out pretty well. But if you're trying to actually cap the flag, actually, you know, plant the bomb, then you probably want something with flak jacket on it. But this class works out pretty well. I think the AN-94 is just really powerful. I should probably experiment with it in more variations. And then this is Camping Jackass. Again, you're not supposed to like me when I play this, right? That my objective is not to make friends when I'm pulling out the tryhard classes. So this one, perk 1 and 3 greed. I don't use my lethals. I don't use my tacticals. You know, it's not about saving flags. It's the Camping Jackass class. That's what it's all about. The target finder that everybody hates is so valuable on an LMG, the light machine gun, and it's huge, right? When I first saw this thing in the trailer before the game came out, I thought it was too restrictive a view. But if you're trying to catch people from a distance, man, the target, just the way that it highlights them, it really helps me see when I have a target to shoot at. And the adjustable stock helps me get out of the window, right? You know, if I'm in the window being a camping jackass and I'm trying to get away, that stock helps me. It helps me do everything a little bit quicker, and that's a good thing. Hardline and Ghost, those are big deals. You'll notice there's not flak jacket on this because, you know, if you're capping domination flags, you're not the camping jackass. The camping camping jackass is in the window at raid, killing the people who are playing the objective. The camping jackass is, you know, in the back to middle of the map, shooting people at a distance. That's what this class does really well. Toughness is essential for it, because if they shoot you back, you want to be the guy that stays on target while you get points on them, you know, hits on them and making their aim terrible. Tactical mask and dexterity. So that's cool. Dexterity helps me pull the gun up a little quicker. The LMG is so slow, I'm giving it these assists. You know, dexterity helps you sprint a little faster, or aim a little faster after a sprint. Adjustable stock helps you move a little faster while you're aiming. If you don't do these things, to me, you know, I just feel stuck in the mud when I use my camping jackass class. Whereas here, I can at least move around, get from position to position, and do my thing. So it is what it is. You know, if you use these classes, you'll do well. And that's why I'm making this video. You know, if you're upset that people are going to do well because they're using these classes, that's why I'm making the video. So I hope that you like this, and be sure to drop a comment and let me know what your favorite class is. Maybe I missed out on something. Maybe there's some attachment I haven't given enough time. Oftentimes when I watch the other commentators tell me that this gun combo is fantastic, like, oh, have you tried select fire on this or that? And then I use it. In my hands, it's still garbage, you know, just like I thought it was going to be beforehand. And, you know, there's a bunch of guns actually that, like the Scar, the Vector, you know, the select fire. To me, they're supposed to be awesome, but they weren't for me. Maybe for you they're working great, but two-shot burst, like it's not helping me. So these are the classes that I can actually do well with. And like I said, grab a class that matches the map, that matches the play style that you want to employ that game, and you'll do well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, maybe learned something, hopefully. And if not, then maybe you'll like tomorrow's video. Bye.